What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and it looks like stats and name has finally been revealed for Goldshells Tari ASIC, the XT box. Let's take a look at it. The other day, we let you know that Goldshell is releasing a Tari ASIC for the SHA-3 algorithm, and now we finally have the specs for it. So here it is. 580 gigahash at 400 watts. So I'm going to run this through my spreadsheet and stuff, and we're going to take a look at the current profitability. But remember, this is before they even release. As soon as people buy these or turn them on and stuff, that profitability is going to drop pretty fast. But we can see 580 gigahash. Let's just kind of compare that to a GPU. And if we come into here and we kind of come into a GPU, let's bring up, say, a 5090, for example. We'll bring in 5090, the big beast. And we'll bring that up and we'll look for Tari here. Tari. And we want the C29 here, the Cuckoo, or I guess the SHA-3X version, because that's what it's mining. It's not touching the C29. So a 5090 was 2.21 gigahash. Obviously, FPGAs were doing a lot better. That's why they have a CPU side now, because they got took over. But versus this ASIC to the 5090, 2.2 gigahash, we now have a miner that's 580 gigahash. One of these is just going to destroy all of the FPGA farms out there. That's how good the ASIC is, even over the FPGA. So there we go. This is the stats. It's 400 watts plus minus 5%. Now let's take a look at the current profitability. All right, so coming into the Tari SHA-3X here, we can see 49.38 terahash is on the network currently. And then again, remember, we need 480 gigahash. So I got this in at, I got 50. So I got 50 terahash on the network right now, and I'm going to put in 480 gigahash, and this thing is making $50 a day. Wow. Tari price is down to less than a cent, a fraction of a cent. Imagine if Tari was still at 10 cents, 20 cents or something, whatever it was. That would be absolutely insane. But anyway, right now we're seeing $50 a day on this machine, about 21,876 coins per 24 hours. That's pretty insane. But as I remember, guys, this network difficulty is going to skyrocket depending if anyone buys these. Remember, if nobody buys these, the profitability will stay. And a lot of people are staying away from ASICs now. It depends what they're going to price this thing on as well, because it's making so much. I imagine it's going to be extremely overpriced. So keep that in the back of your mind. But if nobody buys these, the one person that does, they're going to be making a lot. But if a whole bunch of people does purchase these and turn them on, then, it's going to be pretty rough, because obviously this is going to drop. This is going to increase the network hash rate for the SHA-3X side very, very fast, dropping that profitability very, very fast, which is the same thing we essentially saw on Kaspa, as well as what happened with the lithium stuff. The profits did not last once all the hash rates started coming on. Obviously, they also had a bunch of block reductions happening on Kaspa, so that was another nail in the head there that kind of hurt that severely. But, for the most part, network hash rate is going to climb very fast, depending on the amount of people that do get these miners. And coming into mining now, just to kind of confirm some of my numbers here, we can see daily $47.74 a day and $1,400 a month. Electricity is only 67 cents. Oh, I have it at 7-cent power. That's hosting. That's hosting power right there. We're going to put in 12-cent power, my power. It costs $1.15. So you have a profit of $47.57. So pretty insane. Goldshell is making a pretty profitable miner right now. But again, depending on how many people buy these, it's not going to last. And who knows what the price of Tari is even going to be. Is it going to go down? Is it going to go back up? We have absolutely no idea. There's one more thing I do want to point out, and looking under the comments here, we see, well, that's the end of Tari. Now, that's true and both false. Actually, I don't think that's true at all, because we all knew ASICs were coming. But Tari is not just one algorithm, so this is only going to affect the one algorithm. Let's come into the Explorer and kind of explain this. In my other video, when I talked about these ASICs, I apologize. I did kind of mess some stuff up, and when I'm wrong, I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. So I was talking about this could be mining, in the off time sometimes and using power for 75% of the day. So it turns out that's not the case. I was thinking Tari was ran kind of like Epic Cache, where it mines, it's 3 different algorithms as well. And what happens is that when it's mining, Epic Cache and CPUs, it's not doing anything on the other chains. That's why you move your hash rate elsewhere with a profit switcher, and you mine other coins in the off time. And then when it kicks back to your CPUs, it mines Epic Cache again. So that is not what happens with Tari. As we can see here, that blocks are being found, all the time. So it's pretty much, think of it as 8-minute block times. As they added the chains, it adds extra block times in there. So the block times kind of got fast, or the block times kind of got slower, and then they also, they split up the rewards. So there's a little bit of, I guess, a thirdening happening, or a 25% thing happening, since they added the GPU one, as it used to be 33%, and faster block times, I guess it was 6 minutes. Now it is 25% across each chain for the emissions, and then it's also 8-minute block time. So that's kind of what's going on here. So it's 8-minute block times. Everything's always minus stuff, just that the block times are a little bit slower throughout the entire thing, but it's an average of around 2-minute block times for the entire chain, if that kind of makes sense to you. So I did mess that up last time, and I apologize. So hopefully, I'm kind of setting it straight this time. And if I messed up or messed anything up again or something, let me know down in the comments. And when we talk about Tari sometime again in the future, we'll obviously try to fix it again. So we're always learning, guys. We're always learning about different things. So that's in a nutshell how I believe Tari works. So back to the question there where it says it's going to ruin Tari. It's not going to do anything. Here we can see, we got SHA-3X. That is this guy right here. So the ASICs are only going to mine on this chain right here. It is all on there. It is separated from RandomX, which is the Monero merge mining side, Tari RandomX, which is Tari only on the CPU side, and here's the Kakaroos 29, which is the GPU side. The ASICs are not going to affect any of these at all because they are all on their individual chains of Tari. So this is all, the ASICs are only going to mine the SHA-3X here, and it's not going to affect anything else. You're not going to lose probability on anything else. They will all remain exactly the same, and the ASICs will only impact the FPGAs, which are right here. So that's how Tari's work in a nutshell. So it's not going to be a big ASIC hit and all the hardware is going to fall off like we've seen with previous coins that did move to ASICs. All right, guys, so that pretty much does wrap up this video. Just a quick one there. We got some specs, we see some profitability, but remember, guys, I got to push it. It is not going to last. That profitability will drop extremely fast once people buy these. But again, we don't know how many people are actually going to buy these machines. So that part is up in the air. So thank you for checking out this video. If you're looking for anything, obviously links down in the description, guys. I will see you on the next one. Hit that subscribe button, share this video around. Rabid out.